Hello, it's Coolio from the Two Cool Bros, and I love the Koopalings. I've always appreciated the Koopalings, but they've gotten a kind of a bad rap recently. Basically, in the new Super Mario Bros. Era of video games, the Koopalings were overblown. They were in New Super Mario Bros. 2, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and New Super Mario Bros. U, and their boss fights haven't always been the best. They haven't always been the most creative and interesting things. I mean, look at Wendy. Wendy in New Super Mario Bros. 2 and New Super Mario Bros. Wii had very similar boss fights. They periodically took place underwater. When the water was up, you couldn't jump on her head. When it lowered down, you could jump on her head. They're virtually indistinguishable from each other, with the exception of the Cheep Cheeps in 2 and the rings in Wii. And overall, the Koopalings just have this theme of just not having very good boss fights. They're too easy, they're very predictable, and they just don't change up the formula very much. So people got sick of the Koopalings. Some people started hating the Koopalings. They wanted them in less games, and then because of you monsters, they took the Koopalings out of, or rather, they never put them in Mario Kart World. Instead, they put in a bunch of NPC characters. You monsters, y'all did that. However, it looks like the Koopalings are finally starting to get back into the spotlight. People are starting to miss the Koopalings, and that is all because of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. You see, Super Mario Bros. Wonder breathed new life into 2D Mario. It was a very great game, very creative, very fun, very interesting, but the one fatal flaw it had is that they really dropped the ball with the boss battles in both quantity and quality. Because aside from the final boss, which is of course Bowser, an admittedly very fun Bowser fight with him being a castle and everything, but aside from that, it was just repeated Bowser Jr. boss fights, not even any Kamek, even though Kamek was there. It was just 4 slightly above average Bowser Jr. boss fights that were honestly pretty similar to the Koopaling boss fights, all things considered. I mean, I appreciated that it took, for once it took 4 hits to kill Bowser Jr. instead of just 3. But overall, the boss fights weren't that good, and their Koopalings were nowhere to be found. The Koopalings just weren't here. It was just Bowser Jr., and there wasn't even a boss in every single world. Some of the worlds just didn't have any bosses. So the game was just really lacking in terms of bosses, and that made people miss the Koopalings because, at least the Koopalings were there. At least when the Koopalings were there was a boss in every single world, and now they were gone. And, when we said we wanted more boss variety, we didn't mean just get rid of the Koopalings and not replace them with anything, but they didn't do anything. So people missed the Koopalings. And now the Koopalings are back, and not only are they back, they're presumably better than ever. You see, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is getting a Switch 2 edition called Meetup at Bellabel Park, and the Koopalings are back as bosses. They steal stuff, then they go out into the world, and you can find them in different stages, and it's a boss stage, basically. It looks like, from the example they showed in the trailer, that they'll be like following you throughout the stage, and then eventually you'll face them head on, and that's a lot more creative than what they usually do with the Koopalings. But not only that, due to the wonder effects in this game, it looks like the Koopalings are going to be taking on completely different transformations. We see an example with Wendy, who, instead of just like having Cheep Cheeps in her boss fight, now she just straight up turns into a Cheep Cheep, turns into a giant fish, and just starts following Mario and friends around the screen. And now she uses her rings to teleport in between them instead of using them to bounce around the screen. So they really switched up the formula here. It's a lot more creative. It's a lot more interesting, and just gives me hope that all of the Koopalings will have fun, creative boss fights this time around, and people will appreciate them more, and they'll basically redeem themselves. So I'm very happy to see that. But what do you think? Do you think that Super Mario Bros. Wonder will redeem the Koopalings? Let me know your own thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and even share the video with a friend. And I will be seeing you soon in the next video. Peace.